Hi, good evening everyone. Welcome to the Client Education Series hosted by the Animal Care Center in Utah Dog Park. We're so excited that you're here with us today. We have a fabulous speaker that's here with us today from ASPCA Pet Health Insurance. Her name is Kate. She's from their headquarters in Ohio, and today she is going to be giving us the nitty-gritty and all the basic information that we need on pet health insurance.
All right. Well, hi everyone. Hopefully everyone in the back can hear me. I don't have the loudest voice, but if anybody can't hear me, just raise your hand and let me know, and I'll try to talk a little bit louder. But I first want to just thank everyone for attending tonight's presentation on pet health insurance. I know Tuesday night's not always the best, so I'm thrilled with how many people wanted to come out and learn about this important topic. So as Dr. Lindsay said, my name's Kate, and I'm in the Veterinary Services Department at the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program, which is brought to you by Crum & Forster Pet Insurance Group, and we are a Crum & Forster company. So tonight I hope to be able to just educate you on exactly how pet insurance can help you prepare for those unexpected veterinary expenses that you might face. We'll be discussing the other benefits of having pet insurance as well, and we'll talk about how the whole process of using pet insurance works. And then I'll give you a little bit of information about my product and what my company offers. Now, just to kind of reiterate, we're going to do some questions at the end just because pet insurance can be a little bit of a complicated topic, and so we just ask that all of the questions are held to the end. I'll probably be answering a lot of things as we go through the presentation as well, some of those things that you might be thinking about. So let's first start by talking about what pet insurance is and why we should care about it. Pet insurance is a reimbursement program. So what that means is pet owners can be reimbursed for their veterinary expenses when a pet gets sick or injured. It is different from human health insurance in that there are no networks that you need to worry about. It actually can be used at any licensed veterinarian in the US or Canada. So it's nice in that regard. So why do reimbursements on expenses matter? Well, for most of us, pets are considered part of the family. If you look around, you guys, a lot of you brought your own pets, and that's because they really, truly are part of our families. And these days, there are a lot of different advanced diagnostic and treatment options that are available to help our pets. So that's all great news, but it does come at a cost. In fact, it's estimated that pet parents will have spent about $16.6 billion on veterinary care alone in the year 2017. So it is a significant expense, and that's where the pet insurance comes in. It can help lessen the financial worry of by reimbursing you for covered costs, and moreover, it lets you focus more on caring for your pet rather than on the cost of care. So let's review how the process works. As I mentioned before, most pet insurance can be used for services at any veterinary clinic in the US or Canada, and that does include specialty hospitals, emergency clinics, and your regular veterinarian. Generally, you would pay for your bill for veterinary care as usual, and then submit a claim with your copy of an invoice for processing. Then once that claim's processed, the eligible amount is reimbursed back to you, either by check or direct deposit, or to your veterinary clinic if your veterinarian makes that arrangement with you. So it really is that simple. You get the services done, file a claim, and get the reimbursement for eligible expenses. And in with the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you're completely in control of your claims. You can actually file your claims online through our online member center or through our mobile app, which is a really handy tool that we now have. So it is very simple in that regard as well. And also in our member center online, you can access your policy documents, you can make updates to your account information as far as direct deposit, that kind of thing, and you can also track your claims online. So in addition to the simple plan terms that you'll see next, we really do try to keep it simple for you in using your insurance. So now that you understand a little bit more just about the basic benefits of pet health insurance and the general process for using it, I do want to give you a little bit more information about my company, our plans, and then mostly more about just pet insurance in general and how it works. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance is provided by the Crum & Forster Pet Insurance Group, as I mentioned earlier, and we are in fact one of the oldest providers here in the US. We actually have more than 20 years of experience in the pet insurance industry. The Crum & Forster Pet Insurance Group is a Crum & Forster company, and we're underwritten by the United States Fire Insurance Company, which is headquartered in New Jersey. And then since 2006, we've actually been the only strategic partner for pet insurance with the ASPCA. And we do try to keep our plans in line with their humane standards. In fact, they approve of all of our policies. And our insurance agency does have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And our underwriter is rated A, which is excellent with AM Best. And AM Best looks at insurance companies. So most pet insurance plans do cover diagnostics and treatments for accidents and illnesses. And while I can't provide any specifics around other providers, I can at least review with you what we offer, and that'll help you to understand, how pet insurance plans work in general. The complete coverage plans give you the comfort of knowing that your exam fees, your diagnostics and treatments are covered for eligible accidents and illnesses. You also get the comfort of knowing that things like hereditary conditions, alternative therapies, behavioral conditions, dental diseases, prescription food, and a lot of different other things are covered in addition to the basic diagnostics and treatment for accidents and illnesses. On the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program, you also have the ability to add preventive care to your plans, and that'll help you to get cash back on things like checkups, flea and heartworm prevention, and other routine services. So as you can see on this slide, hopefully you can see that, you are able to customize your plan to fit your different budget and coverage needs. So let's review the different ways that you can design your pet insurance plan. So first, the deductible. That's the amount that you need to satisfy before your reimbursements can be made. We have annual deductible options of $100, $250, and $500. You can pay a lower monthly premium by selecting a higher deductible, and then conversely, you can select a lower deductible and get more reimbursed back on your claims. The reimbursement percentage is the percentage of covered costs after you've met your deductible. We offer a 70%, 80%, and 90% option. So if you choose a lower reimbursement amount, you have a lower premium. If you choose a higher reimbursement amount, then you have more coming back on your reimbursements. So it's kind of reverse of the deductible. Now, the annual coverage limit is the total amount that you can be reimbursed over a 12-month policy period. It does reset when your new policy renews, and we suggest that you select the highest amount that you think you might need, just so you have the right amount of cushion. And then one thing that I didn't mention is that we also do have unlimited as an option on those annual limits. So there is a wide variety of annual limit options. So now there are a couple things to keep in mind beyond what's covered when you're enrolling in pet insurance, and that is what might not be covered. There's exclusions on all pet insurance policies, and those are things that are not covered by your plan. We do have a short list of exclusions that includes things like ear cropping or tail docking, those kinds of cosmetic procedures. We also exclude breeding costs and pre-existing conditions. Now, pre-existing conditions are conditions that show symptoms before your coverage begins or during a waiting period. And there's no pet insurance provider that will cover pre-existing conditions, unfortunately, although there are differences with each pet insurance provider in how they handle pre-existing conditions in the future. So it is just in general smart to sign up for the plan before something happens. That way, you won't have to deal with a pre-existing condition, hopefully. But that's just one of those things to be aware of when you're looking into pet insurance providers. Now, the waiting period is the amount of time that needs to pass before certain coverage kicks in. We don't have any waiting periods for accidents or preventive care, with the exception of knee and ligament injuries. Now, knee and ligament injuries, even if they result from an accident, are always subject to a 14-day waiting period, as are illness-related things. All right. Now, and one thing I didn't mention on the previous slide, I apologize, but every pet insurance provider also has waiting periods. So this is another one of those areas when you're looking into pet insurance that you'll want to learn about what waiting periods that provider has. Okay, so same slide, but different information that's highlighted there. The complete coverage plans, as I mentioned, has coverage for accidents and illnesses. Now, accident coverage will take care of costs for injuries and emergencies that are related to accidents. This includes things like torn ligaments, insect bites, other types of wounds, lodged foreign objects, toxin ingestions, those kinds of things. With the illness coverage, you'll be reimbursed for the costs for both minor and major illnesses, such as cancer, arthritis, hypothyroidism, digestive issues, urinary issues, those types of things that are not accident related. And the complete coverage also covers hereditary conditions, which is the cost for inherited conditions and birth defects that might not show until later in life. That includes things like heart disease, disc disease, eye conditions, hip dysplasia, some of those things that you might already be aware of. Behavioral issues are also covered on our plans, as I mentioned before. This coverage can help with the cost of veterinary visits for concerning behaviors like anxiety or compulsive behavior. That's things like excessive licking, fur pulling, destruction of your home. So that behavioral coverage does extend to cover those types of issues. Now we do also, you'll see on the right-hand side, we do also offer an accident-only plan. So if you only want to have coverage for injuries, we do offer that in addition to the complete coverage plan. Here's an illustration of just how simple it is. This is a hypothetical claim scenario using the ASPCA pet health insurance structure that we just talked about. So let's say a pet has two separate incidents in a given plan year. The first incident reflects a covered veterinary visit of $3,600. In this example, the deductible chosen was a $250 annual deductible, so that's subtracted from the total eligible bill, and then the remainder is reimbursed at the 90%, as you can see there. Now let's say the pet had a second incident in that same plan year, and let's say that totaled $2,000. Since that annual deductible had already been satisfied, we simply take that eligible bill and multiply it by 90% for that reimbursement. So as you can see, the reimbursements are a straight percentage of the covered veterinary bill, and here again, we try to keep it simple for you and easy to understand. So as I mentioned before, we do also offer preventive care coverage on our plans, and coverage for wellness and preventive care services is one of the things that really sets ASPCA pet health insurance apart from some other options out there. Not all providers will offer preventive care on their plans. But with the preventive care coverage, you can get cash back for routine services that help keep your pet healthy. So our preventive care coverage can be added to either the complete coverage plan or the accident-only plan. So either one of those, and it's for as little as $9.95 per month. So what are the benefits of having preventive care? Well, things like vaccines, flea and heartworm prevention, dental cleanings, those things can keep your pet from getting sick. Other things like regular checkups and wellness screenings let your veterinarian detect health problems that might be present, but not necessarily something that you can see, so something that's in the early stages. So that can mean a better outcome for your pet potentially. So if you're already paying for your pet's preventive care, why not get some cash back for it? If you're not keeping up on the preventive care, having this coverage can really prompt you to make those appointments and start getting your reimbursements. So each preventive care option has a list of covered services, and each service has a maximum limit of payout for a given plan year. So it is different than what we just looked at on the claims example. That was a percentage reimbursement. The preventive care is a little bit different, where the reimbursements happen as the services take place, and it's up to a set amount for that plan year. But we do have 3 different options that can be added, and there's more information about that along with our other plans on our website, if you need a little bit more detail on that. So with all of that information, where do we go from here? I know that was a lot of information in a pretty short period of time, but if you think that pet insurance might be a good option for your pet, if you're interested in the ASPCA plan, you can always visit us online at www.wecoverthat.com or the main ASPCA pet health insurance website. And you can also call into our call center and speak with one of our friendly representatives. They can help discuss your pet's needs and help to do a quote and identify what plan might be right for you. If you decide that you would like to research pet insurance a little bit further to find the right one for you and your pet, there are some things that are good things to keep in mind and some good questions to ask. So we are going to review that just for your own information, and hopefully you'll be a little bit more prepared going out into your research. So first, what's covered? These days, pretty much all pet insurances will offer coverage for accidents and illnesses and hereditary conditions. But what about other things that your pet might need, like dental coverage or behavioral issues? You'll want to make sure that the plan covers what you want it to cover. Next, what's not covered. We talked a little bit about some things already as far as what we don't cover, but you'll also want to make sure with any provider that you know what's not included. For instance, some providers won't reimburse for exam fees, and that's something that is on almost every veterinary bill. You also want to look at how they handle pre-existing conditions. We talked about that already, and those are conditions that are present before the coverage begins. But as I mentioned, some pet insurances will handle a future reoccurrence of a pre-existing symptom different than others. And so it's always a good question for any pet insurance provider is, how do they handle pre-existing conditions? Thirdly, can you customize your coverage? Being able to choose factors like your deductible or your annual limit, that gives you a lot of flexibility on your plan and allows you to tailor it to fit your own budget and needs. Not all providers have that flexibility, so again, having choices can help, and if that's something that's important to you, you'll want to make sure you have that as well. And then next, whether preventive care coverage is offered is another important question. So lots of pet parents really do appreciate being able to get cash back on those preventive care services. And as I mentioned, not all providers will offer this. So even if you don't think you would want that coverage or you're not sure if you would want that coverage, it's still good to go with a provider that offers it in case you change your mind in the future and you want to add it on later. And then lastly, how much experience does the company have? Of course, you want to have a dependable company that's going to be around for the life of your pet. There's no way to tell for sure, but the size and the experience of a company can really be good indicators about whether you can count on them in the long haul. So those are just hopefully some things to help guide you in the future. So once again, I want to thank you for joining me tonight in this presentation. As I mentioned, if you'd like to explore pet insurance for your own pet, you can give us a call. Our number for those who are going online or are already online and maybe want to write this down, it's 866-230-4749. And then again, you can also visit us at www.wecoverthat.com. I can write that down for anyone here who might be interested as well. But I very much appreciate your time this evening. I know this presentation was a little bit shorter than some that you might have attended in the past, and that's really because, for your own individual pet, it's worth looking into and just doing some more research, and so I highly encourage you to do that. But I will also be around for the remainder of the evening so we can, answer any questions that you might have. We can kind of go over some of the things that might be lingering still, things that we didn't talk about, and then I can, point you in the direction of where to get those answers. So,
Thank you so much, Kate. We really have enjoyed having you here. And if any of you have not been to the Animal Care Center and seen, so ASPCA is a wonderful partner for us to provide the best possible care for our patients, and they offer us just fabulous insurance plans so that way we can take care of your pets as best as we possibly can. Like Kate said, she's going to be available for questions for the remainder of the time that we have today, and then we'll also be reposting this webinar online just in a little bit. And then if you have questions, specifically any policy questions, you can meet with Kate, or you can write these on the Facebook page, and then the ASPCA social networking team will comment on those as soon as they are available. But be checking out our website and things for any questions and things like that. And then we have more food in the back as well, so if you're hungry, please feel free to get some more wings and socialize and things. And we'll be back again next month on April 3rd, which is another Tuesday. The fabulous Dr. Kara will be discussing allergies just in time for spring. So thank you again, Kate. If everyone wouldn't just mind giving her a nice round of applause for a wonderful webinar. Thank you.
No, thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it.